Hello and welcome to the national debate. I'm Madhavdas G. The countdown is on for the high-stakes assembly elections in 2026 and the political fireworks have already begun. The upcoming elections will be crucial for the opposition as many of these states are ruled by the India bloc parties who would hope to retain power to maintain their bargaining power and relevance, of course, in the alliance as far as national politics is concerned. In West Bengal, when it's elections, Mamata Banerjee refuses to stay out of the limelight as she stormed into the I-PAC office in the middle of enforcement directorate raids, and her government's face-off with the central agency has turned the election into a blockbuster spectacle. The battle is now playing out in the Supreme Court with both the state and the enforcement directorate leveling charge after charge at each other. But with her dramatic entry, has Mamata Banerjee crossed the line, or has she put the focus on vendetta politics and the misuse of agencies? That's what we'll be debating on the national debate today. Let me quickly introduce our panelists. Joining us here in the studio is Shazia Alvi, national spokesperson of the BJP, Jay Dayadra, advocate on record for the Supreme Court. We have Karan Verma, author, also joining us. With us is Tausif Rahman, national spokesperson of the TMC, Ashwini Kumar Mishra is leader of the Congress party. We have with us Vivek Silas, national spokesperson of Samajwadi Party. Advocate Anmol Pawar is spokesperson of the Aam Aadmi Party. Let me quickly take you across to the first talking point in terms of what has happened in the Supreme Court. Just to very quickly recap that for our viewers. Now, this is what has been given in terms of direction by the Supreme Court to the state government. First, there's a stay on the 4 FIRs that have been filed against enforcement directorate officials. The second is that there is protection from CCTV footage of the raids that has to be protected now mandatorily by the authorities there. The third directive, there's notice to the Chief Minister, the Police Commissioner as well as the DGP that has been issued. They will have to respond to that. The fourth, of course, aspect, the second aspect that we're talking about is the kind of observations that have come out from the top court. The first observation, rule of law must be upheld. Very important point coming in. State agencies cannot shield offenders. This is the second. Third observation, undecided issues could worsen lawlessness is what has been stated. The fourth observation, each organ must function independently. Now, they've also gone on to say that central investigations must not be obstructed, and that's, of course, in context of what has happened there. Sixth observation, High Court chaos hints at judicial interference. Very significant, since there were questions raised about what transpired in the High Court as well. Now, what really were the arguments of both sides in this entire case? Here's ED's claim that the Chief Minister barged into the raid location. TMC's counter is that Chief Minister was only at the spot for 15 minutes. ED's claim is that the Chief Minister stole evidence and destroyed the CCTV footage. TMC's counter is that ED tried to steal election data. The ED's claim is that the Chief Minister took cell phones of enforcement directorate officials. TMC's counter is that Mamata Banerjee only took TMC's poll information. ED's claim, this is dacoity, allow FIR against the Chief Minister. TMC's counter, why should ED raid I-PAC at all? ED's other claim is that mobocracy is on in Bengal. TMC's counter is that ED's bid to disturb the West Bengal polls. Now, this is as far as the arguments are concerned. All right, more arguments coming in. TMC mobilized lawyers to disrupt the High Court hearing is another claim of ED. TMC's counter is that why did ED wait 2 years for a raid on this particular matter? Let's quickly open this up and take it across. First question, of course, I want to address to Tausif Rahman. Tausif Rahman, we've seen what has happened in the court. The court has issued certain directions, and if the West Bengal state government, if there was nothing wrong that had happened, why is it that you have such stringent observations and directions coming in from Apex Court?
Good evening everyone. Good evening, Madhav. Madhav, I would like to repeat whatever you said and shown on the TV. Judges caution against shielding. Why I'm reading this? Because I don't want to go wrong. So judges caution against shielding offenders. The Supreme Court observed it is extremely important to examine this issue to ensure that the rule of law is upheld in the country and that both central and state agencies can function independently. So there it is. Now, if you say कि हमने घेराव कर दिया, we have done, you have got some WhatsApp chat. See, it is very difficult to believe. Is there any specific date to घेराव that court? And that's the High Court of Kolkata, Madhav. It's not a saas bahu ka jhagda that आपने किसी को कह दिया and 100 people will barge inside the court and they will obstruct the case hearing. It's not like that, because the judge never said like that. The judge said बहुत सारी भीड़ हो चुका है यहाँ पे. You have to go out.
That's what happened.
This is what I want to explain. But again, Didi has taken all the data. Didi has taken all the devices. There was only one laptop and one iPhone. So when you call devices, yeah, and a 5, of course. We can't deny that. So when you said devices, I-PAC is already having more than 50 computers. Have you seen that 50 computers on her head? I mean, we call every woman as a Durga, but she doesn't have 10 hands.
Okay.
I mean, and one more thing. See, Asman Zameen mein ek hi energy, naam hai unka Mamata Banerjee. So I do understand everyone is scared of her, but no one is above the law. So we have to listen to the Supreme Court.
Okay.
Shahzad ji, we have to listen to the Supreme Court.
One by one.
We have to understand.
Ask the question.
We have to understand it's Supreme Court. मोहल्ले का झगड़ा नहीं है, and we have to abide all the law.
Of course,
we are not above the law.
The courts have also said you will not go to go ahead with those FIRs. They've also asked you to issue notice, and you all have to respond. Mamata Banerjee, the DGP, the commissioner all have to respond. That does not normally happen. That does not normally happen. But let me ask your question across to Shahzad Elmi. Over 50 computers I-PAC had allegedly, as per him, and he says that did you see Mamata Banerjee walking out with all that data, walking out with all that hardware? How can you say that she took all the devices with her?
Device and devices. Sorry, now you can say, Shahzad.
The whole world saw, the visuals are there for everybody to see how petrified she was 6 hours after the investigation was underway. In fact, it was underway when she snooped in. And in fact, this was plead also by Kapil Sibbal, who has said that those 6 hours had happened and then Mamata Banerjee came only after 6 hours, and the ED Panchnama clearly says that in 6 hours none of this was seized. So what was the need for Mamata Banerjee to come in and sweep in? What was she trying to hide? What is there in the green file that only she knew about? She knew the office so well that she knew exactly that she should take the mobile phone, take the laptop and the green file. And not just that, the Supreme Court also said, when Kapil Sibbal was arguing for her and TMC, that there is such a contradiction, that obviously ED did not mean to take any of the data that you are insinuating it did.
What were they doing?
So, and not just that, no, let me finish. Give me the same courtesy.
Let's come one by one.
Let her answer.
No, let me expose you properly.
Yeah.
And also, my dear friend Tausif totally omits the fact of when you ask the WhatsApp question, that there was a proper WhatsApp that was circulated, that there were more than 5,000 people in the court, something that Supreme Court took cognizance of and said, were you trying to do a jantar mantar over there? These are the words of Supreme Court, not the Solicitor General or Additional Solicitor General. So very clearly Supreme Court says that. And not just that, Supreme Court says this is a very serious matter. When it came to maintainability, what did Supreme Court say? It's a very serious matter. If we do not examine these issues now, it would lead to lawlessness. Lawlessness. So these are very strong words.
Absolutely.
And nothing can undermine these words.
Let me come back to Tausif. Let me just tell you.
Mother, just 2 seconds. Just tell me. They entered around 6:30. They had this 4.5 hours. Contradiction Panchnama. भाई हमने कुछ नहीं किया, कोई लड़ाई फूट नहीं हुई. The way they said कि कोई हमने धक्का धुक्का नहीं हुआ, nothing happened. So there is a contradiction in the Panchnama as well. The Honorable Chairperson of Trinamool Congress entered around 11:35. In 4.5 hours, the question arises, and I want to ask everyone what the ED was doing. I cannot use such word, they were hatching eggs. No. I have to have a parliamentary sentence.
No,
this is what. Again,
how can you question what the agency is doing?
ED rates has to inform the local police.
Are you an official of the ED? Do you know the procedures of ED?
Of course, Madhavji. ED rates have to inform the police. Okay, ED rates have to inform the local police, at least administration. 6:30 they entered. They have sent the mail to the local cops to 11:30.
Where is it mandatory? Where is it mandatory?
As the court, we have discussed this.
No.
It's an opinion which have observed in the court.
Is it
it's an opinion which have observed.
Absolutely not.
But
this is unprecedented.
It's an opinion
observed. You asked a question. Listen to the response now.
Absolutely unprecedented what we've seen. If central agencies cannot be protected in carrying out their lawful duties, Madhav, I don't know where we're going to go as a country. I think that's the short point. And the fact here is that the Chief Minister of a state waltzes in and takes away electronic devices that belong to one individual, I believe Pratik Jain, comes out and shows it to the whole world that I've taken evidence away. This is a clear pattern. And this was also debated in the Honorable Supreme Court also. And this is not the first time it's happened. We remember a few years ago when the Commissioner of Police of Calcutta, the Chief Minister goes and does a dharna outside his home to try and protect him from CBI officers coming to investigate him. Now the same pattern is repeated today when there is a lawful raid in terms of Section 17 of the PMLA, which is lawful search and seizure. There was no business, not only for, of course, the Chief Minister, but the entire bureaucratic machinery in Calcutta, the DGP, the Chief Secretary, all of of them land up at that place. They terrorize those officers from the ED
better, but that's a fundamental right.
And take away that material.
Exactly.
Now my friend says it's a fundamental right to go and interfere and obstruct public servants from carrying out public duty. Perhaps there is another CRPC or another law that operates in the state of Bengal.
I say I'm not sorry for that.
But no.
The two-judge bench of the apex court, sir.
Let's not be
you know better than me.
Let's not be brazen. There are serious questions. There are serious questions that emerge from what he is stating.
And one very important point, Madhav, if I may just very quickly add it. If Mamata Banerjee and her friends, whoever, people who are involved in these offences, if they are innocent, they should have been more concerned about the evidence being taken properly and the evidence being stored correctly. Rather than coming in and stealing that evidence.
Sir. Those were candidates' name. How can ED go and raid and they want to just barge into the BJP? That's a rear tire of Bhajpa. But they have become the Bhajpa commission.
This is what the Supreme Court is saying.
I didn't know
Supreme Court is saying.
The two-judge bench of the apex court.
Tasif, listen to me.
That no
the Supreme Court says that this is calm down first. Tasif, calm down. No, this is not a monologue. Please, there are others who have not yet spoken. The Supreme Court has specifically stated that this was not your party office. How can you prevent any private company from
Who will decide that?
The Supreme Court will decide. Are you the Supreme Court?
Who will decide that?
Is that a judgment?
Is that a judgment?
Are you the Supreme Court?
Sir, is that a judgment? Sir, is that a judgment?
Of course. The interim order says that.
Not my party office. Is that a judgment?
Interim order
No, it's not a judgment.
It's a private contractor. Now imagine
the
Chief Minister, Constitutional Authority,
says,
goes to a private contractor's office and she gets a dream.
Let me bring in others.
That's a party office.
Let me bring in others. Ashwini, one second. Ashwini Mishra. Just a second. Ashwini Mishra, I want him to answer this question. Tomorrow, if private companies are being raided and you have chief ministers of states going there and preventing them from being raided, this is a recipe for disaster anywhere in the country. It doesn't matter if it's TMC, Congress or BJP. What is the constitutional scheme? Are our chief ministers there to prevent acts of alleged corruption? It's not proven. It's an alleged act of corruption that's being probed. Money laundering, which is ED's remit. Are we going to now see chief ministers, ministers, mayors, and everyone can then enter and say that no, this is person related to me and it's a political victimization happening?
I partially agree to you, Madhav. It's a constitutional crisis where the whole federalism structure itself is being destroyed. The central government doesn't want, they want opposition Mukt Bharat. They raided I-PAC. I-PAC is the same company which did their election campaign in 2014. So they exactly know the kind of data this agency can hold for a political party. If you go and raid a political party, at the time of election, it shows your malified intent.
Was this a political party? Was this a political party?
It is a company which is doing campaigns for political parties, and they have won a lot of election in the past, including on Bharatiya Janata Party's election in 2014. So Bharatiya Janata Party exactly knew that the kind of data they can hold for an opposition.
Right now, by that logic, Ashwini, there will be dozens of companies doing work for different people. There will be dozens of contractors contracting work for different governments who all will come into the ambit of that. Tomorrow the government will say that there is a X company that is doing civil work, there is some defense company doing some other kind of work. Where will we draw the line?
No, you have to see the timings, Madhav. The morality of this government has totally gone, because if you see the ED, it's always active during the elections only. And if you look at their
elections only.
I've been wanting to say this. Now the question is why I-PAC and what is our connection with Pratik Jain? Now we know about the coal scam, we know Manji, we know thousands of crores have been...
between I-PAC and Pratik Jain, Shazia ji,
I'm telling you,
please elaborate.
Only if you let me speak.
He is the director and
how can we carry on? So in the proceeds of crime, which ED is supposed to check and investigate, if Pratik Jain, there are linkages between coal scam and Pratik Jain as a beneficiary of Hawala transactions amongst 8 other people, why won't ED go there and investigate? Because he is there and this has been going on for years. 5 years this investigation is going on. So many assets have already been seized. Anup Maji is there. Heaps of money, bundles of money has been found. So in Hawala transactions, which ED is supposed to investigate, if Pratik Jain...
The case was registered around 2020.
It's very basic.
The case was registered around 2020.
Everybody knows the matter totally.
No, Shazia, the case was registered
2020.
Not like this.
Shazia, ऐसा नहीं है. ऐसा नहीं है. ED ने केस रजिस्टर किया था 2020. They came back in 2024 before MP election. Now they came back before 2026 assembly election. भाई हम sabotage करने नहीं देंगे. We cannot ask,
But yes,
or we
Supreme
cannot
Court
allow
may be
anyone to
bad.
sabotage by
Let me see,
2026 assembly election.
One second. Let me ask you a simple question. A, was there a raid on a TMC leader in this case?
That's
No.
a party office, sir.
How is it your party?
That is a party office. Mamata Banerjee, let me be
How
very
is it?
clear.
How is it?
Mamata Banerjee clearly said Pratik Jain is an authorized election in charge of West Bengal, and I-PAC is a party office, Sector 5, Godrej
he
Water
can be
House.
beneficiary.
No,
He can
not
take part
beneficiary.
in Hawala
Beneficiary.
transaction.
Now, let me tell
Does
you.
it give him permission to
I-PAC
be
office
corrupt?
is there in Hyderabad. Why no raid there? Never happened anywhere. I-PAC office is in Delhi as well. Why no raid there? It happened in 2020. They came in 2024. Got back in 2026. So the intent
Pradeep
of the
Jain
person
cannot have
raid,
immunity.
if the person there
He
is
cannot have
Why will they go to
immunity.
Hyderabad?
No, right?
Only because
Why
he's in
the
the
person
opposition.
there is-
So you want to
Is
attack
resident-
just TMC?
The person involved.
This
who
is
has
the reason
been
what
raided-
I'm saying.
No, if he has done something wrong, who are you? Are you giving a clean sheet to this individual? He's done nothing wrong. Can you say
What
that
I'm
today?
saying?
No, can you say
Supreme
that today?
Court?
No.
So how can you say Mamata Banerjee is wrong?
No, because she's
Let the
entering a
Supreme
private
Court
office.
decide.
Because never before has a raid like this happened. Correct.
Let
Why
the
is
Supreme
Mamata
Court
Banerjee wrong?
decide.
Please
This
say
is
that.
what I want to
Why
say.
is Mamata Banerjee wrong in this question?
I can't. I've given up.
I have a simple logic. If
Can
you
I
say
speak now, please?
Let
I've
him
been
finish.
patiently
Let
waiting.
him
Now,
answer this
please.
turn.
So, Madhav, why are we all surprised in the first place? I mean, these people have roughed up ED people in the past. In January 2024,
Ending
we should
democracy is not ED.
Now, please.
One second.
Ending
some
democracy
civility.
is not
Have some
enforcement
civility.
directive.
No,
I have
party,
not
you're a
interrupted.
lawyer.
I don't want you to
You're a
interrupt.
lawyer. You
Please.
can't be a judge in your own case. So allow others
please
to
don't
speak as well.
in
Please.
between. January 2024, they've roughed up ED officials when they went for that raid against Shahjahan Sheikh. They've roughed up NIA officials in April 2024. So we should not be surprised. And he's unapologetic. He said, I'm here to break the law. What does the law say? BNS section 221, and I want all your viewers to read it. It says, obstructing a public servant in discharge of duty is a criminal offense, jailed up to 2 years. Now, this is a textbook case of Mamata Banerjee coming down there, and he is so brazen about it. What has the Supreme Court said? Supreme Court has given a scathing indictment to them, if anything. 2 directives that they've issued. They've set aside the FIRs you filed against the ED officers.
That's okay.
And what do you mean by that's okay? That's
we
a
have
scathing
to apply the law.
Excellent. Let me complete.
That's not a judgment, sir.
Tausif, that's overreach. Let him make his point.
And secondly, what have they said? They've issued a notice to the commissioner, to the CM. So if anything, they should not be so proud and brazen about it. And
Okay.
Thirdly, Madhav, 1 second. He keeps saying, why have they suddenly woken up in 2024? They tried every trick in the book to delay this probe. In 2020, CBI filed an FIR. In 2021, it is the ED that took cognizance of it. Abhishek Banerjee tried his best to ensure the trial happens in West Bengal. Then Abhishek Banerjee approached the High Court in 2022. In 2024, he approached the Supreme Court to quash the
And
summons.
what's the result?
He landed
After
with a...
Abhishek
One second
Banerjee
now.
applied
No,
for
no,
anything,
no,
what
let
is
him
the
allow
result,
this.
sir?
Let him make
Madhav,
his
you
point.
can't allow this. The moment he starts getting exposed, he starts jumping like this.
no,
You can't let him
no,
jump
no,
like
no,
popcorn here.
No,
please.
nobody has
I am
interrupted
exposing
you.
him.
Please let him speak.
Yeah. In 2024, October 2024, finally the Supreme Court said you have to face the summons of the ED. After that, he faced the ED, and today, in January 2026, we are seeing a raid after their youth leader. Just as Tausif is an energetic youth leader, they had another youth leader, Vinay Mishra, who by the way is absconding right now. Anup Maji, under section 164, made a confession that led to a series of companies, including the Shakambari group. And that led to I-PAC. And under section 17 of the PMLA Act, my dear friend, they are perfectly entitled to do this raid. How dare you stop this raid? This is clear case of obstruction of justice.
And
But
let me
then you
add,
should not be surprised.
and let me add,
These are
very,
Mamata
very
ways.
simple question, Tausif, answer this.
Yeah.
When the court says that if central agencies are working bona fide to probe a serious offence, can they be obstructed by party activities? What is your answer to that? This is
No,
from
see,
Supreme
we
Court.
will wait for 3rd February. Whatever the decision
No,
will come,
answer this.
I'm telling you.
Answer what court has
See,
said.
this is what you are jumping the gun कि आजकल ऐसे हुआ, वैसे हुआ, ऐसे हुआ, बहुत तमाचा लगा, setback लगा. We say no. We are fighting with ED. What is ED? Enforcement Directorate? No. Ending democracy. किसके लिए आप झगड़ा कर रहे हैं? 98% of ED cases against politicians were filed on opposition leaders, sir. Okay, the remaining 2% are those who went and joined the BJP washing machine. You won't speak about Suvendu Adhikari. You won't speak about Hemant Biswas.
No, ask those questions. I have no problem.
No,
You
they
please
will
ask
not
those
answer.
questions.
They will say Mamata chor hai, Abhishek Bandyopadhyay coal scammer hai. But what happened after that?
Tausif, but you answer
no,
my question.
opinion.
Why is the court not buying your argument? If your arguments are so strong,
Is
if
it
you
over?
have the proof, then certainly the courts would have agreed with what
Is
you're
the
saying.
episode over?
They have not agreed with anything you've said so
Madhav,
far
is the
yesterday. Why is
episode
that the
over?
case?
Is the
Of
episode
course
over?
not. But
No,
why
it's
have
not
you received
over.
such a huge
We
setback?
need more 2
Prima
weeks.
facie
We have
has
2
been
weeks.
taken by the Supreme Court. They wouldn't have stayed.
We have to
Yeah,
nothing
yeah,
right
what has happened
now.
so far?
You cannot say Mamata Banerjee
Sharia law and blah blah blah, because you people say this. You say Ghuspetia, you bring Sharia law. You say
He's
Straw man argument.
This is what I want to say. We have 2 weeks. Let's not do this. Let's not do this. I want to bring in Vivek Salas. Vivek Salas, you know, the court has very clearly said.
ED as well.
Of course we will. Please calm down. We will talk about all aspects. Don't worry. There are many panelists here. 2 of them have not even spoken, courtesy the amount of time you have taken. Vivek Salas, now answer this simple question. If the Supreme Court says that state agencies cannot act as a shield against investigation, where does that leave the role of the state police, the party workers and others who very clearly in this case, judging by what has happened in the Supreme Court, you know, will have to answer some tough questions?
You know, as far as the Honorable Supreme Court is concerned, they also made another observation as to why the ED is active in election-bound states. That is also observed by the election, the Honorable Supreme Court. And that is a very valid question that Mr. Kapil Sibal asked the Supreme Court.
In an earlier case, not in this case.
It was?
No.
Earlier they have asked. You're right to the extent that they have earlier asked this question. But in this context, they have not. Because that is not even an argument Tausif is putting forth.
If you see the trend wherever the elections are held, you know, two things certainly go. Shazia,
Yes, that's not made opening comments. So let him speak. Yeah.
My bad.
Yeah, as far as the elections in India are concerned, you know, any election-bound state, 2 things happen. First is the EDs, and second are the Ghuspaitias. They travel everywhere where the elections are happening. And we saw it in Delhi, we saw it in Bihar, we saw it in other states as well. You know,
which Ghuspaitias are these?
Only 3 Ghuspaitias were found in Bihar. And Amit Shah, in any state, he says, Ghuspaitians se daro. You cannot control the Ghuspaitias, and you try to fight the election on Ghuspaitias. You know, last time when elections were held in West Bengal, Honorable Prime Minister traveled to Bangladesh, to Matua temple, to bow his head. Will he go again? You see the situation, what is happening in Bangladesh. Just to get the Matua votes in West Bengal, he traveled even to Bangladesh and nothing happened.
So if your logic is perfectly fine, then today BMC election, BJP has won. Where bhi koi ED raid hua hai?
I was coming to that.
You know,
you see the videos coming and people are uploading it on the social media. If you see Mumbai, if you see Pune, if you see Ulhasnagar, if you see Nasik, loads of cash are being distributed, mobile phones, juicer mixture grinders, pressure cookers, they all on the social media. Openly the Bharatiya Janata Party is distributing.
Only BJP party.
Yes, the ED is irrespective of Bharatiya Janata Party or any other party. Well, Bharatiya Janata Party is winning.
Irrespective of Bharatiya Janata Party?
Irrespective. I say any party who's doing this. Why the ED is the eyes are closed?
And grinders.
Why only Bengal? Why only Bengal? Why only Bengal? I support Mamata Banerjee for this. And wholeheartedly I am supporting her, and we'll be helping her in West Bengal.
No, you can support her, but you're supporting her action of entering an active raid situation.
As Tausif said, let the Honorable Supreme Court decided. No, what happened?
No, it is
not. The media trial will happen first.
What has happened? The interim order of the Supreme Court very clearly raises questions of state government action.
No, not at all. It is the 3rd of Feb where the Supreme Court will be giving the judgment, or they will give another date. You never know. Are you sure that the 3rd of February is the final date?
I have not said it's a final hearing date. I am only going by the order.
It is not the final hearing.
Sir, I'm telling you, but we have a 3-bench judgment.
No, let's not do.
They have already decided everything.
Shazia, your response to his points that ED is repeatedly misused in different states. It's not just about West Bengal. When it comes to elections, the ED and other central agencies are misused is his contention. Your response to him?
So that is a standard response having been given all through the times whenever there is corruption. ED follows the money trails. ED works under PMLA Act, under the statute, and it's very, very clear wherever there are proceeds of crimes that have to be investigated, ED steps in all the matters they're talking about. And I can go state-wise. West Bengal, we all know what happened. It has been explained. I can talk about Aam Aadmi Party even before Anmol speaks as to what happened. The liquor scam. I can talk about each one of them. Let's go.
Okay, let him make the allegation. Then you respond. Let him make the allegation
first. All the possible scams that have happened in different states. So whether it's a Jharkhand matter or it's Aam Aadmi Party, there's a liquor scam. Excise rules have changed.
Without a single penny recovered without a single witness, without any money trail.
No, that is not true.
And bashing by the Honorable Supreme Court, alleging, saying that, categorically saying that ED and CBI are working as
Anmol, but you know, if that is the case, why was the policy taken back?
Why?
The liquor policy, if there was nothing
Isn't
wrong.
it correct?
No, why the policy was taken back? You are saying there's nothing wrong. Why take back the policy then?
First of all, despite thousands of raids, there are court orders on record. The Honorable Supreme Court, the Honorable High Court, very categorically
You said nothing found. Come back to the Delhi case. You said nothing found.
I am coming to the Delhi
larger
case.
question we will debate.
Okay, I am
but
asking
come back to the Delhi. Why was the entire liquor policy taken back?
Tell me whether the Honorable Supreme Court in any of the orders has said that a single penny has been recovered. Is there any witness?
But
is there any money trail? No.
Why
Let
did
us
you
say,
destroy
let us
our
assume.
Honorable Supreme Court.
Why did you destroy
Let us
our
assume.
Honorable Supreme
Let
Court
us assume there was
granted
nothing
bail
wrong.
to
One second.
PMLA
I am
case.
taking your argument.
In
Both of you, please calm down. There's no need to shout. People can hear you without there's a microphone attached to your coat. People can hear you otherwise also. So listen to me. You're saying nothing wrong happened, right? That is your contention. If there was nothing wrong, why did you withdraw the old liquor policy? Please tell us that.
Most of the officials, first I'll put my point. The Honorable Supreme Court twice in PMLA case wherein you have to prove prima facie that there's no offense against you, there's no evidence against you, there's no money trail against you.
We accept
they have
that
granted bail
argument.
to Arvind Kejriwal.
What is the logic of pulling back the liquor policy for the fourth time? I'm asking you. Tell us.
For the fourth time, I'm telling you that nothing was recovered from Arvind Kejriwal. That's why he was granted bail. Secondly,
that is not an answer, Anmol.
You're acting so naive.
No, you also know the answer.
Don't know that the officials were working under the LG.
No, it's a genuine question. It's a genuine question.
So will you
It's a
reject
genuine
this
question.
argument
Guy
also?
Verma, was it the LG that will do the liquor policy or was it the state government?
Correct, my good friend. He gets pumped up. He forgets facts. 30th October, all your viewers can check. 30th October 2023, when the Supreme Court denied bail to Manish Sisodia, the Supreme Court is on record saying there is a tentative money trail of 338 crores established.
Incorrect.
Please check, Madhav. Check. I will leave the debate if it's incorrect. I will leave the debate if it's incorrect. 30th October 2023, Supreme Court 338 crores while denying bail to Manish Sisodia. My friend, let's talk facts here. I respect your sentiments. But at least
don't interrupt. No, you made your point. Listen to the counter.
So let's be reasonable. And that is why Manish Sisodia was further held. And Madhav is checking that. Supreme Court, I repeat again, 30th October.
Exposing you. Go and read para 46.
Madhav will expose you.
Anmol, you can counter him with your points. Let him make his point. Let's not this is not correct. This is not correct. No heckling.
You are embarrassing yourself on national television right now.
You
are embarrassing yourself on national television. I am speaking with conviction. 30th October 2023.
You counter him with facts. No, Anmol, this is not right. You counter him with facts. No heckling allowed. You ask a question if you have a doubt or if you have something else to counter him, you can ask that. Conclude.
Madhav, please, you should fact check this also so that our great friend knows about this. 30th October 2023, Supreme Court, while denying bail to Manish Sisodia, said there is a money trail of 338 crores established. The Delhi High Court has had scathing indictments of you, how you are prima facie involved in the commission of crime. When you say recovery of funds, there is no recovery of funds always. Just as Lalu Prasad Yadav is a convict in fodder scam doesn't mean fodder was actually found in his locker or bundles of notes were found. There are modern ways of having a money trail established. So let's talk facts here. Yes, you can argue that why are cases languishing for so many years? That's a valid point.
And it is a fact. I've seen there are multiple reports which very specifically state. Now listen to my question. The money trail tentatively not established. No Supreme Court relief for Manish Sisodia, and he's right. This is the reports that have been filed on October 30 on multiple news portals. Now respond to that.
Yeah.
In any PMLA case, there are 5 advocates here on our panel. If anyone can say that in a PMLA case, the Supreme Court can grant bail if the court is not satisfied whether a prima facie case is made on the particular accused.
Can you answer this?
The court grants bail only when, not even a prima facie case, जहाँ पे किसी भी तरह का कोई साक्ष्य ना हो, कोई सबूत ना हो, कोई money trail ना हो, केवल वहीं पे bail मिलती है. And the same on 10 seconds.
So
10 seconds. No,
let's
10
get a
seconds.
legal response.
The same Honorable Supreme Court. See, these are the observations made by the Honorable Supreme Court in West Bengal order. But there are
We'll come back to West Bengal. We'll come back to West Bengal. It's an interim order.
There are 10 seconds, Madhavji.
I want you to answer you made a legal point.
Even given
I'll give you a chance. West Bengal will come too. Let's settle the Delhi liquor point. You are making a point. Let's get a counter. Jay Yad Rai.
Respectfully, my friend is absolutely wrong. He should look at section 45 first of the PMLA. He'll get all the clarity he needs. The point is that if an active investigation is still going on, and if, especially in an issue of money laundering where proceeds of crime are concerned, it is very easy to decamp, to transfer, to layer and to move, which is why the custody of that person during investigation is very important. So this is wrong to say that the Supreme Court at that level will come in and say yes or no, and therefore it is a prima facie assessment of innocence or guilt. That's absolutely wrong. That's not what the law says.
Your response, Anmol, now respond to that.
The Honorable Trial Court, while granting bail, adduced all the prima facie documents which were presented by the investigative agency. The same was done twice by the Honorable Supreme Court in Manish Sisodia ji's case, in Arvind Kejriwal ji's case. And let me tell you, the orders which were made by, the decisions which were made by the Honorable Supreme Court, May 2025, the Honorable Supreme Court said ED is crossing all limits, violating federal structure. In 2023, the Honorable Supreme Court said actions of ED are vindictive, there's something wrong with ED.
Yes,
in August 2024, the Honorable Supreme Court said they wrapped the Enforcement Directorate for shoddy investigation, and in 2025,
they are going to come, they're coming into that. I'm not skirting that issue.
It is violating fundamental rights of the citizens.
All right. You answer my question. Liquor policy. Let's get the next topic. Just calm down. There are many talking points. Let's go one by one. Let's just quickly remind our viewers as to what really happened in West Bengal, why and how those raids got hijacked. It was 6:30 a.m. when the first ED team arrived at the I-PAC office. Later, of course, we saw how the office was vacated. Documents were analyzed at that point of time. This is the timeline of that day that we're essentially talking about. The chronology, 7:30 a.m. is the second ED team that arrived at Pratik Jain's residence. This was also widely reported. At 12 noon, Mamata Banerjee arrives at Pratik Jain's residence. We also see how she emerged 19 minutes later with the green file that was seen over there outside those locations as well. At 1 p.m., the Chief Minister then arrived at the I-PAC office. Also, later, of course, we saw her emerge from this office as well. She took the elevator, of course, to the office on the 11th floor and then, of course, exited after 3.5 hours from that particular location at 4:22. Now, the ED's claim is that CMO officers exited with the files. That is the claim that has been made by the Enforcement Directorate as far as the Chief Minister, her officers and others are concerned. So, Tausifur Rahman, I hope this answers your 10 hands question, because this is what is being claimed now in the court. It is not only the Chief Minister. There were multiple officials who accompanied her. She spent about 3.5 hours there, and that's when they took out all of that evidence, is the charge that you are facing.
The court has asked for CCTV footages. You know that?
Of course.
Okay. There's a lineup and there's a lot of speculation. There's a lot of aspect which is going on inside the Supreme Court, and we'll go to it. But Madhav, please allow me to talk about Enforcement Directorate, which is calling ending of democracy. And we have to speak about the credibility. In the last 11 years, please allow me, please, Madhav. We are fighting with ED. I need to keep my
you put your point of view on these facts.
I'm telling you. So we'll come. It's there. It's there. It's getting discussed inside the Supreme Court.
Look at the video. Just answer those visuals. Don't even have to say it. We will, of course, CCTV will establish what will establish. What about all this information that's been taken away?
It's a detailing program on national television with a green file, one iPhone, one devices, one laptop.
I'm glad Madhavdas made another admission.
That coming from iPAC
made another admission that perhaps might hurt his leader now, but let me please point something out very fundamental. In a criminal investigation, what typically happens is you want to come in and secure the evidence. Maybe now CDR records will have to be taken out to see if Pratik Jain from inside the office hid certain evidence and material that would have been detrimental to him and perhaps to his boss Mamata Banerjee, as he points out that is, the party is run now by I-PAC. Maybe he made a phone call. I'm saying maybe. Let the investigation point it out. CDR data will show that. And perhaps he made an SOS phone call to somebody. And that somebody came running there to seize that evidence and to perhaps destroy it. Now, all of this will have to be gone into.
Yeah,
if I'm innocent,
I am not
if I'm innocent, if I'm
Supreme
Mamata
Court,
Banerjee or if I'm Pratik Jain, if I'm innocent, why will I go in and try and seize evidence, run away with it, destroy it? If I'm innocent,
I will want, sir. That's
I
a
will
strategy.
Want the evidence to be hidden. What
sir,
strategy?
That is our strategy. Our strategy है candidate list, and we will do that.
I'm not a politician.
We will do that.
Let me tell you.
I'm not backing out. Again, I'm saying we will do that.
Leader, 1 minute. There is Sun Tzu. You can, if my strategies have been taken away, you can do counterintelligence. I can come up with different names for the same seat. This is such a pathetic argument that our poll strategies were in it.
Of course, it's not a pathetic argument, sir. That is our strategy.
This is to try
that is a candidate list. It's a cannot, no, sir. No, sir. They cannot get poor pathetic. No, sir.
Some criminal action is...
No, sir. I am not backing out, Madhav. By any chance.
Answer the question.
By any chance, by any means, am I backing out?
Answer the question that comes out.
Abhishek Bandapati is asking to back out.
Answer the question. It's a debate.
We are hitting them. And we will hit them.
Tausif, no. This is not correct. This is not acceptable. No, this is not acceptable.
You are telling me अच्छा लग रहा है. You are saying
not acceptable. No. Tausif, answer the question what he is asking you. He is asking you a simple question. If you have nothing to hide, why do you have to run there and take away what they are calling evidence? You are calling it political party data.
Of course.
There are serious questions about why would your social media cell have your entire party strategy?
It's not just a social
media
media
cell that you're worried about.
Prateek Jain is taking care of the whole West Bengal 2026 election charge. So he's in charge of this.
Is he a member of TMC?
No, he's not.
It's been outsourced.
So how do you outsource your basic core functions to a private agency?
But we are telling you, boss. हम तो आपको कह रहे हैं. That's our party office as well.
How?
We cannot deny that.
Was it declared
But
anywhere?
you are fighting against ED, right? We are fighting against ED. Let me bring the credibility of ED. Why don't you allow me to do that? In the last 11 years, Shazia ji, please. In the last 11 years, a total of 5297 cases were filed by ED, and how many were taken to the court for trial? Only 47. This is why we are fighting. This is why we will not allow anyone to sabotage 2026 election. Commission got done. The conviction rate. Ladies and gentlemen, the conviction rate of ED
has raided.
Single
BJP leader.
Shazia ji, I will listen to you.
No.
The conviction rate of ED, ladies and gentlemen, 0.7%. Okay, that means out every 1,000 cases, found ED.
Okay, both of you are shouting over each other.
I'm not finished.
No, neither of you will be heard. If you don't shout on each other, neither of you will be heard. You've asked questions of the ED, now let's get a response.
I want my credibility.
Selectively being ED is selectively being used to target opposition parties. Respond to it.
I have three basic sentences to make.
Let me complete, Shazia ji.
No, I will not allow you to complete. Let me ask.
No, so I will also not allow you.
No, let's allow me to conduct this debate.
No, last question. Let me, I'm not
You have asked a question of the ED, now listen to her response. Listen to her response.
Section.
You have asked two questions of the conviction rate.
Why are you
wasting time? No. Tausif, you are wasting time. No, this is not correct. Nothing will go on record.
Why do you protect ED so much?
Nothing will go on record.
It's an independent body, right? It's a government body, right?
Allegation of opposition parties. Calm down. Allegation of opposition parties.
No, but I will come back to this again.
Agencies are being misused.
So I've been wanting to say these two sentences, and the third, of course, I added after Tausif kept heckling me. So to Tausif, I want to say that, vilifying ED and, this kind of venom spewing that you're doing against an agency will not wash away the
democracy.
Sins. No, again,
it's not an agency.
No, I will not speak until
this kind of you can't interrupt everyone.
Ending democracy.
Tausif, you are not conducting this debate. I am. Let me inform you, you cannot interrupt everybody in this, okay? This is not the way to debate. Now, quickly conclude your point.
I have two questions. Allow me to say, no, not quickly. He's just going on heckling me. So your heckling will not help matters. It cannot wash away sins of corruption. One. First question to you is, if Prateek Jain is in charge of all the elections of TMC and strategy and whatsoever, does it give him immunity in an investigation into Hawala transaction of which his name is coming up? And he's part of that.
That's a question, not a judgment.
I'll answer. Second
question. That's a question. That question is coming from your end, not from the Supreme Court. So why will I answer you?
No. This will not.
Why will I answer you?
But why are we in a debate then?
That's an assumption.
You are asking questions of BJP. They will ask questions of you.
I am addressing to you about ED. I have to complete this.
No, of course. We will come to that point. I told you we'll come to that point. It's a very long debate. There is enough time. Please calm down now.
On the debate.
I am here in Delhi all alone.
Keep it to
you can call your Gunda BJP.
हम बोल के रहेंगे. हम बोल के गुंडा.
मैं दिल्ली में अकेले आया हूँ. I don't have security.
Calm down. This is not the way.
I don't have security. I am here in Delhi. You can call your BJP.
This is not the way we do this debate. Not at all.
So two questions. Again, I'll ask because he kept heckling me. Does Prateek Jain get immunity from corruption charges, financial transactions that have happened, and in an important investigation? One. Two. Why did DGP and Commissioner have been sent notices by Supreme Court? What were they doing? And why was CMO involved in seizing of the files and in this file chori business?
That's your assumption.
The Supreme Court
that's your
assumption also.
That's your assumption. So I will not answer you about Prateek Jain immunity or blah blah blah. No.
So why is court issued the notice then?
That's okay. We are accepting it.
No, that's not.
But why will I answer Shazia?
What do you mean accepting it? You have to reply to it.
See, that's a honorable
It's not a letter from the post office that you accept.
But now
it's a notice that you have to reply to.
Madhav, if Shazia ji will say Prateek Jain is a chore, Mamata Banerjee as a chore. I mean, that's a media trial.
I'm not saying
Is
it.
Supreme Court saying
Mamata Banerjee is saying it.
The Supreme Court says Mamata Banerjee is a chore.
Mamata Banerjee is saying it. She's
saying?
exposed herself. Mamata Banerjee by running.
Mamata Banerjee saying कि हम चोर हैं?
बिल्कुल
कब बोल रहे
बिल्कुल
हैं?
चोरी कर रही है, उससे जाहिर हो जाता है चोरी है.
दिखाओ.
These are all words. These are all words of the court. But let's
Why don't you allow me to complete
Let's look at the
ED?
precedent. Let's look at the precedent. Let's quickly look at the precedent of what has happened in the past in West Bengal. Why this is not a one-off. What we've seen in the case of the ration scam, ED arrested a minister over there, Jyotipriya Malik. Mamata Banerjee has defended this individual concern. What have we seen in the case of cattle smuggling case in August 2022? CBI arrested TMC's Anubrata Mandal. Mamata Banerjee defended this individual concern as well. In the Narda sting case in May 2021, CBI arrested TMC leaders. Mamata Banerjee then sat on a 6-hour dharna outside the CBI office in this particular case as well. In the case of the Ponzi scam of the CBI probe, February 2019, the CBI Kolkata police standoff that we saw, unprecedented standoff at that, Mamata Banerjee's 45-hour sit-in protest at that location is what we had observed there as well. So it's not a one-off case, it's a multiple cases that we are seeing Mamata Banerjee facing off as far as these agencies are concerned. What have we also seen? We are coming to some more cases in terms of the tryst with agencies. In Sandesh Khali in Jan 2024, ED officers assaulted by TMC men. Look at the visuals. As far as the Bhupati Nagar case is concerned, on April 6, 2024, NIA team attacked during raids. There's also, of course, multiple other cases that we will refer to, yes. And this is, of course, Kolkata police detaining the CBI team on the 3rd of February 2019. How can you justify this violence, Tausif? How can you?
He's not backing down, he's saying. Yeah.
All those leaders went to the jail.
What about this?
Any one of them convicted?
Wait. Cheated. I'm sorry. They all charge cheated.
They all were suspended.
All of them. And
They all were suspended
for all of
After
them.
being defended.
They all were suspended. They went to the jail.
No, but before that she was doing Dhanna
Charge
presentation.
sheet
Wait,
has been
8
filed.
seconds, sir. Why you get scared when I
Okay.
speak?
Oh.
I'm coming from
Look who's
Kolkata. It's
talking.
all right. Wait. We will not heckle you. All these people went to the jail. This is what I'm saying.
Be original. Don't copy all my
Okay, one by one.
charges against you.
So,
सब जेल
what
गए,
is the logic?
सब जेल गए, सब सस्पेंड हुए. ओके, एक को दिखाया गया, पैसे लिया टीवी में, वो जेल गए. Where is Suvendu Adhikari? He is the LOP of West Bengal. Where is Himanta Biswas?
Oh.
No. Oh, please.
नहीं, वो बात
नहीं आएगा आंसर.
भागना है.
नहीं आएगा आंसर.
Stay on
ED की
course.
क्रेडिबिलिटी में नहीं आएगा आंसर.
DGP and
Okay. ED की क्रेडिबिलिटी में नहीं आएगा आंसर. Where is Ajit Pawar? Where is Ajit Pawar? Where is Himanta Biswas? Where is Suvendu Adhikari?
We have discussed this.
My leaders went to jail. My leaders went to jail.
Nobody can hear you when everybody speaks.
Sir,
Nobody can hear you.
you asked
One
me,
second, before I
आपके
come
वहाँ
across to this side,
नहीं था.
let me ask you the
आप
further
कह रहे हो,
question.
आप राजीव कुमार के समय थे.
Tausif, now listen to the question. Listen to the question.
This is serious.
No, this is very serious, but this is also not a monologue of yours. Listen to the question, it's a debate. Simple question I'm asking you is this. Why was Mamata Banerjee busy defending these charge-sheeted individuals who were sent to jail? Why was she speaking out in their favor? How do we know she's not doing that in this case as well?
Now, can I say?
Answer.
We are not backing out anywhere.
No, what is the question of backing out?
We were there.
Why?
Wait,
It is not about backing out. It is about defending criminals. Why is she defending criminals?
Who's criminal?
All these people who've been sent to jail, who you said have been
So this
sent
is
to
no.
jail.
They went to the jail. They went to the jail. They went to the. They
So
all
why
got,
was she
they all
backing
got
them?
suspended from Trinamool Congress.
Why was she backing them initially?
Don't you answer? Let them answer.
No, let them
Suvendu Adhikari
answer.
jail
No,
gaya.
First you answer my question.
Suvendu Adhikari
This is the
jail
whole
gaya.
problem. See, this is the danger that this case poses. And listen to me
Suvendu
now.
Adhikari is not a
The
danger.
cases, of course, we will
Himanta
ask the
Biswas is
question.
not a
I'm
danger.
not running for
Ajit Pawar is not a danger.
You pose that question.
No, Madhav
But first you
has
have
asked
to
me this
answer.
question
One
1,000 times.
second. One second. Let me ask you the simple question. The danger that this case poses to the entire constitutional fabric and to every state, every government across the country is that if tomorrow you have central agencies probing acts of corruption, acts of money laundering, acts of terror, can you have a chief minister or a minister walking in and scuttling that investigation?
the
Because
cases
in
coming
these
by-
cases, Mamata Banerjee has supported initially members of her party who have later been charge-sheeted and jailed. What is the precedent you are setting here?
So Madhav, all the cases are coming by this ending democracy, which is called ED. Out of 100 cases filed by ED, only one actually makes it to the court. How do you want me to believe these people?
What about the other agencies?
No,
why
this is
why
what-
are you opposing CBI then?
CBI,
Why are you opposing NIA
get
then?
their credibility on ground, and we'll discuss on it.
Madhavji,
Nothing will happen. Nothing to
This is
it.
shifting
You
the
bring
goalpost.
OT,
But I will
you bring
ultimately
CBI,
the court
you
will have
bring
to decide.
enforcement
But let me
director.
ask this question.
Check their credibility.
Karan Verma,
Check their credibility.
Karan Verma,
Madhavji,
answer this
can I-
question. Answer this question. when it comes to the BJP, it is a washing machine. Individuals who are probed by the agencies, whether it's Ajit Pawar there, whether it's other leaders in West Bengal who he named,
all leaders.
All the people. And his answer, let him respond. You are asking questions.
Keep it to yourself. Does that absolve them of their crimes? This whataboutery, this equivalence, this should be asked.
This is whataboutery.
But let's no. Just because someone else is not in the jail,
it was the Prime Minister who said, this is not 70,000 irrigation scam.
No, this is not correct. This is not correct. Let him answer the question. He's just started answering.
This is
you can respond, Vivek, if you want, but let him make his point.
Let me expose
one by one. Yes, Karan, one by one, please.
Please. I'll just take 45 seconds to expose my very energetic friend who's not backing down today. I-PAC is a power broker and a corrupt organization.
We are talking about Suvendu Adhikari.
1 second. No, Madhav.
No. This is not correct. How is it not correct? Tausif, you cannot do this.
Really wrong.
This is not correct. You have leveled charges against him. We have heard it.
Speaking.
Let him make his point.
I have
you cannot jump in like this again. This is not correct. Correct.
February 2022. Who says this? It's Kalyan Banerjee, TMC MP. I'm sure he respects him. Madan Mitra, last year, February 2025, senior TMC leader, says there is a rate card going on in I-PAC. Chandrama Bhattacharya, she says, is it the party that's going to make decisions or is it I-PAC? And Mamata Banerjee, by the way, assures her that I-PAC is not the one that's going to take decisions, it's the party office. And our great friend here is saying the party office and I-PAC are one and the same thing. To hell with what Chandrama Bhattacharya was told, to hell with what Kalyan Banerjee was told, to hell with what Madan Mitra was told. That is how they are exposed. This is a pattern of the TMC. First they'll deny everything. You remember post-poll violence? We did so many shows. Nothing happened. BJP drama, Sanghi, all of this. Today there is a conviction in post-poll violence. Rafiqul Islam of TMC. So they accept nothing, deny everything, and then they'll say, so what?
Okay. But the Ashwini wants to come in. Ashwini.
But the answer is
Ashwini, you also did answer half the questions of post-poll. Ashwini.
Madhav, Congress party does not support any sort of corruption. We want transparency, due process, but it should not be a political vendetta, and the autonomous bodies, I should call so-called autonomous bodies, should not be used like a tool. And this list exposed ED completely.
Do you remember what Supreme Court said about cage parrot during the UPA days? Cage parrot, Supreme Court said. Which government was that?
Remember what Supreme Court said in 2020?
See, that is the whole point. In 2013, they created this whole narrative of anti-corruption movement, and this government came in power. How many people got convicted after that? No conviction. That is what the credibility we are asking with the agencies, that these agencies are wagging their tails in the front of government.
Okay.
That is the problem.
Okay, answer. Shazia, answer. Washing machine charge comes up once again. So, it's BJP that is misusing leaders who are accused of corruption. Join BJP. Suddenly the charges disappear.
This has been said many times over, and I have answered this. ED itself explained, and there was a big article done on why so many leaders who've crossed over have gotten reprieve. Now, let me tell you, many of those investigations are very much active, and ED, they're very much active. Okay. I will tell you, I have a list. I've written down a list, and not just that. Whenever there has been a money trail,
for want of time.
ED does not take up matters suo moto. It does not. There has to be a predicate offense. There must have been an offense which is there. And if you're not guilty, then why should you worry? Why should you go and
quickly going through the cases now?
And steal files.
Since many panelists,
do not feel the need to do that.
Since many panelists have referred to the elections, pre-election raids, let's look at what has happened in Tamil Nadu 2021. IT department raided Stalin's son-in-law's sub-edition. This is in Tamil Nadu. Premises of DMK's Senthil Balaji was also searched. Also, we saw how CBI filed a case against DMK's P. Srinivasan in 2020 ahead of those polls in Kerala. We saw ED registering a FEMA violation case against the KAIFB, and we also saw how Chief Minister Pinarayi Vijayan served as KAIFB chairman previously. We also saw what has happened in West Bengal in 2021. CBI examined Mamata's nephew Abhishek Banerjee as well. Sharda scam, 2 top TMC candidates were then quizzed by the ED at that point of time as well, and that was ahead of polls as well that we've seen in the state of West Bengal. All right, let's quickly get in. Vivek Salas, you are citing this. Of course, Aam Aadmi Party will cite Delhi. And this is the point that you are making. Earlier, you wanted to make about how ED is being misused allegedly. Your response?
No, I'll say about 2022, I think your panel, your people missed it. In 2022, while we were going into the polls in Uttar Pradesh, a house was raided in Kanpur, and it was said it is the Samajwadi Party's Pammi Jains, and 200 crores of cash was found. Ultimately, what happened? It was not Pammi Jain. It was the Bharatiya Janata Party man, Piyush Jain. And by mistake, you know, the ED raided, where is that 200 crores? Where is it?
Money was not recovered?
No, money was recovered. What happened? How many people were sent to jail? You see in Chhattisgarh.
Okay, nobody was sent to jail.
No, wait. Chhattisgarh, what happened? It was a Mahadev app. It was a 5,000 crore scam of Mahadev app. Some cash was also found in the cards. Where is that Mahadev app gone now? Why don't the ED go to the Chhattisgarh?
Okay.
Where what is happening? What happened to Hemant Soren was behind bars for 151 days. He was behind bars. And ultimately the Honorable Supreme Court died. He is an innocent man.
Quick response.
That is what you have been doing.
No, I tell you what everybody's been doing. I want to give a history of corruption very briefly.
I have two simple questions.
Chief Minister was behind bars.
Okay.
Innocent Chief Minister.
We are out of time. We have 20 seconds.
Simple question. First is, how many BJP leaders have been raided by ED? Secondly, all the Narendra Modi certified corrupt, whether it's Ajit Pawar, Subhendu Adhikari, Bhavna Gavli, how many of them? Why did you roll red carpets for them? Point number two. Point number three, the Honorable Supreme Court also made a very important observation that Enforcement Directorate cannot interfere in the election process.
Shazia, quick closing comments.
Madhav, through you, I want to speak with folded hands on behalf of my party. All of them, they gang up against Modi ji. I want to just give a record of what's happened under all prime ministers. Jawaharlal Nehru, Jeep, Mundra. Indira Gandhi, I mean, scams after scams. The electoral malpractice. What have you? Listen to me.
Certified corrupt.
Completely out of time. I'm sorry, but we're completely out of time on the show. We'll have to leave it there. We have to wrap it up there. Shazia Ilmi, Jay Deadrai, Karan Verma, Tausif Rahman, Ashwini Kumar Mishra, Vivek Salas, Anmol Pawar. Thanks so much for joining us on this edition of the National Debate.